Hello, I am Sean Sands from Gamers with Jobs. We're taking a quick look here at Parkitect, a early alpha of a roller coaster tycoon. I hesitate almost to say like as much as just a sort of almost reimagining of the great roller coaster tycoon games, but build a amusement park and play around in it. It's going to be instantly familiar in many ways to anyone who has ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, for example. Now, again, since it's such an early alpha, you start off just with a big, green space, but it's a nice big green space. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, there are really no scenarios or anything right now. I don't know if they're going to be adding all that stuff, but when you get into the basics of it, like you build a park on this grid structure. It's a fairly rigid game. Like they're clearly operating in sort of a relatively flat square-based system. You're not going to have lots of nice curving paths and stuff like that. It's going to be, again, like a lot like Roller Coaster Tycoon, but you paint and draw your things, and people slowly arrive at your park. Pretty good amount. Not great, but good amount of rides and shops and details and decorations that are included. It does also have, terraforming. Again, since this is, such, an alpha, I don't know how much of this is, stuff you might have. There's no research tree or anything like that yet. But the game reacts pretty well. Like if you put a depression under stuff, then it knows to build a bridge. It's no longer, it doesn't just make it disappear or anything like that. You can maybe turn this into a lake, and drop some water in there, and you can set the water to different heights, so you can could overflow the whole thing, which I don't recommend, but holding down shift allows you some control over it, so you could set that like that's a lake now. But then the heart and soul of a game like this is in its rides, right? So the classic swinging ship right from the start. And can you put it? Yeah, and you can actually raise and lower things and kind of have elevation and some verticality to your system, as well as just having everything sort of on a flat plane. But you throw this here. I don't know why I did that, so yeah, I do want to remove that. It's way too high. Let's see, where was it? Swinging ship. We'll just put it on the ground here. Right there. And then you add an entrance, and you add an exit, and you add a queue. You connect the exit up, and you turn it on. At its base, I mean, exactly like Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. And you have your peeps on here. Peeps? No, that's not. Let's not call them that. Your park guests who are, going to slowly spend their money in various ways, and you have park admission fees. I mean, it's all the things you would expect from a game like this. And one of the things I do like, I don't remember this being in like the Roller Coaster Tycoon games. It's a kind of, that's a terrible sound. Here's a worse sound. Ew. You build these, and you'll notice they have these little things over them, meaning they're not currently stocked. Once you build them, and occasionally you get your stock out here. So you actually have to have a staff member who goes around and hauls things from one place to another, which in a park this size, I imagine, is fairly simplistic and not that big of a deal. But in a much larger park, I can see that being something, just an additional layer that you have to, keep attending, keep monitoring, make sure you have enough haulers for all of your buildings. Yeah, you just walked into there. I guess maybe you work there? I hope you do, or else you've fallen through the world. But let's get to the centerpiece of a game like this is, of course, it's roller coasters. And again, this feels suspiciously like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, right? The types of coasters are all, they're the ones you would certainly expect. And they are laid out in, again, a very, very familiar way. You can point which way you want to go. Weirdly, I need to point sort of south to get it to point that way. And then you plop it down, and then you have this, system for building sort of one chunk at a time. So you want to get a bunch of stations. Good. And then obviously you want to begin to get, a good lift. Let's not go crazy. And this I like. You can build more than one bit at a time. Let's say you want this to transition. So it's going to go from 3 to 3.5. Or each one's going up like a quarter, right? Each of these little slants is going up 1/4 of an elevation. It starts at 3, it goes up to 3.25. You can build a bunch of them at one time instead of having to click them all at once. Now let's get crazy. Let's make this thing go on up. And you can build that and then sort of build it all at once instead of, and so you can create sort of you have more control over the slope, it feels like. And you also don't have to just keep clicking over and over and over when you're building one nice long section. One thing I do also like is you really can adjust the track's tilt. So I get up here and I want to begin to, create a nice sort of spiral. Maybe I use that, dip it down just a little bit, and then I can essentially create my own spiral, and then just sort of zip it on down and down, back down to there, and then lay a straight track, and then you can level it back out. It looks like I've accidentally gone underground. Oops, didn't want to go underground. I wanted to even it out. Yeah, flatten it out. There we go. So build that and then set it back to 0, and there you go. So let's build this. Let's see. We're going to make a very simple little roller coaster here. All right, so here we have that actually took longer than I would have expected. But you have the bare bones here of a roller coaster. It's weird. I actually had a lot of trouble matching the main station back up to the track, figuring out exactly how all the turns worked. I do like this. It kind of shows you what the elevation of each place is, so you can kind of get a sense of that. Once you have it, of course, you can let's see, put in a entrance and an exit. Put in your path, and we'll just open it up. We will assume this is 100% safe and absolutely perfect. So hopefully some test subject will come down here and try our new roller coaster. A couple of things still missing, like not a lot of information on the history of your. You can't see like lifetime totals, or if you can, I haven't found it yet, for like lifetime earnings, stuff like that. How many people are currently on the ride. You can see stuff like maintenance and operation. Some statistics, as far as customer and like its intensity and nausea and excitement and all that, which again, very, very Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Well, that didn't work. Okay. Lots of also, so a lot of optimization and clutter, character, just stuff you can play with. You can build your own kind of, areas here. I got put up a wall. You can get multiple elevations of that wall. You can put stuff into the wall. Let's see, an awning. This is not how you would want to do this, mind you. There we go. You would probably create something that's actually a thing. Let's see, supports. I know there are windows in here. So there you go, like a window. You kind of include that. So you could make little areas for people to walk through, or covered walkways, all kinds of stuff. Did you make it? You made it. Awesome. Let's see how it. Woo. And yes, the coasters can and do crash. That'll get better. Oof, those brakes. It's a little rough. There's no really analytics yet. Like in the old Roller Coaster Tycoon, you could see graphs and stuff like that. I assume there's a lot more features coming, right? They're still in, oh, yep, there you go. That's how you crash it. You have been nothing but a failure. Yeah, so that's a quick look at Parkitect. Parkitect is created by Texel Raptor. You can pick it up and get into the early access for about $18 on Steam. If you're hunkering for this kind of game and haven't played for a while, like, it's bare bones, but the base of it's there. It is pretty fun. It feels like there's actually a lot you could do if you really want to, even though the tools are relatively rudimentary and you have to fight with the interface a little bit every now and again. It's there. It's there if you stick with it. So anyway, until next time, as always, my name is Sean Sands from Gamers with Jobs. Thank you for joining me for this quick look at Parkitect, and we will see you real soon.